January in a coastal garden is a strange, still time. The wind is still blowing fiercely, of course, but underneath all of that, things are just waiting. The start of this year has been generally quite cold and wet, and there hasn't been much happening in the garden. I spent most of the time researching and translating that research into plans for the coming year. Last year I made a video on my 2025 plans and planning process. I thought I would revisit the topic in these very different conditions. My process is normally to go for a walk and sit in various places contemplating the garden, just observing and recalling the summer. With the garden pared back in winter, it's easier to come up with new ideas for what might be worth changing. What has gotten too big or too crowded? What do I want to divide? What colours worked? Why did they work? How can I make things more harmonious? This year I needed to do most of that thinking indoors, sneaking brief moments between the heavy rain to observe the garden. It's been a bit tricky to do it this way, although I do have my videos from last year to look back on, which helps. To help me further, I decided to draw a map of the garden. The full garden map is nowhere near complete yet. I did manage to complete my modest little raised bed area though. And it was while I was working on that, looking down at the raised bed, thinking back over the summer, that my mind kept going back to the broad beans. They did so well for most of the season. And then, almost overnight, the aphids moved in. That was very disheartening. So this winter I spent quite a bit of time reading up on it, trying to understand why it happened and what I might do differently this time around. It turns out there are a few tactics I can use. Companion plants helped last year, but it wasn't quite enough on its own. And while I will be adding more varied companion plants, which might do a better job of attracting the aphids away or attracting in more natural predators, this year I'm going to try breaking the pest cycle altogether and do some crop rotation. No beans or peas in the raised bed this time around. It's a bit of a sacrifice. I really was looking forward to trying sugar snaps, but it feels like the wiser choice. I can always come back to the beans and peas in a few years. Which brought me around to thinking what I might grow instead. And that led me to rummage through my seed box. Now that's not a large hoard in my case. I tend to buy and sow only as needed. But I found that I do have a couple of seed packets, borage and foxgloves, that I had intended to sow last March. And one thing or another just got in the way, I suppose. That's probably how seed hoarding begins, doesn't it? Never mind, hopefully this year. I don't have a lot of space for growing vegetables. My raised bed space limits what I will plant. Of course, I'll plant some of my potatoes in buckets and whatever cardboard boxes I might have to hand. The rest will go in the raised beds, and the tomatoes will be in a separate container too. So after a bit of planning, I went out and bought some new seeds, the new crops for the raised bed, and some of the companion planting from my list. And of course, wouldn't you know it, I did come home with a few extras, like the California poppy mix that did so well in the border last year. It was such a joy. I'll definitely be sowing those again. Yesterday on Imbolc, or St. Bridget's Day, we finally got our first bright sunny break in ages. I managed a quick walk through and a little tidy up of the garden. My bulbs are showing great promise, and the slugs are already working away on them. Another status yellow warning is forecast for later today, and with it, it's cold in my glass box. I moved some of the planted seeds into the house to hopefully germinate where it's warmer. It's a small start, but on St. Bridget's long weekend, it feels like enough. The sanctuary is stirring. And then tucked away in a corner of the border, I found the last of the Cuphea ignea. It's looking a bit bedraggled now, stripped back by the wind. But there it was, the last cigar of the season, still clinging on despite everything the Atlantic has thrown at it. I leave it there for now, a small spark of red in a grey landscape. Every garden needs its quiet moments of reflection before the fire starts again in spring. I'm heading back inside into the warmth. Until next time, happy planting.